Hey, Cooter. Joe, check this out. There's Anywhere But Here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about Anywhere But Here.
What's Anywhere But Here? Anywhere But Here in Mississippi?
No, man, Anywhere But Here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the wars in the stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere But Here podcast.
Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here, episode 60. This week it's a very, very special joint, not joint, crossover. No, it's not a crossover even.
We have guests.
We have guests, again, for the second week in a row. Except this time, it is not just an old friend of ours who used to be in our band and had nothing better to do on a Sunday. This time, it's two podcasters from round our way who we went for a drink with a couple of weeks ago. It's Scott and Charlie, Scotland and Charles, from the Stinking Paws Film Podcast.
Teaming up with Tony and Tommy.
Indeed. So welcome along to the Anywhere But Here podcast.
Hi. Hello. Good to be here.
Excellent.
So we've got people along. We're not sure how this is going to go.
No.
It's going to be interesting. This is
Yeah.
free-form podcasting.
I mean, we'll try and stick to a format and
Yeah.
let them interject, but I imagine it's going to turn into a lot of talk about films.
Yeah, I mean,
And
these guys as well, we know for a fact can talk.
Yes.
And we've got some social lubricant with us as well. They brought along the beer of podcasts. We've got some Galahad export
We
here,
have.
which I'm sure Smokey from the History of Misunderstanding will be incredibly pleased to hear. And we also have Shipsterns.
Some Harolds.
Mine of Harold. Yeah. Just what the doctor ordered.
So yeah, it's at 11 o'clock in the morning as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
But as you quite rightly say,
Alan Jackson.
Jackson,
Quite famously said it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
it is indeed. So here we go.
Yes. Interesting.
So before we start, you can find us at Anywhere But Here, abhpods.com.
You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/abhpod.
You can
Go and like us and share us with your friends.
share all our wonderfully witty statuses and
Yeah.
things that we find interesting. That
They're
other
usually
people
just
might.
tweets that are automatically posted,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Which is a good point. You can follow us on Twitter at AVHPod, and
Yeah.
we're both on there separately. But you can find us,
Through retweets
some
and
other way.
things. Yeah. Did we miss one? We've missed a lot, haven't
Yes,
we?
YouTube.
Yeah, youtube.com/ABH podcast, which you will get a YouTube video, but it will probably just be a still picture.
Yeah, this week we're not filming because
there's too many.
Yeah,
Things to sort out.
and
Can't be bothered.
Fair enough.
it's free, man. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What do you
like I
want?
say, it's probably going to turn into like a couple of hours that we're going to split somewhere. So it's
Yeah,
just
and we
easier
also
not to-
don't want you to know exactly how much we're drinking.
Yeah, you won't see us through a wall of cans eventually. There's a video.
And you can email us at abhpod@gmail.com
You can.
Yes.
And yeah, just find us on Stitcher and iTunes.
and rate,
Pocket
review,
Casts.
subscribe. You can also find Stinking Paws at all these
Yes,
places as
probably.
well.
Yes.
At Stinking Paws. Move.
Just at Stinking
Is it
Paws
at?
on
Yeah,
Twitter.
that's
On
it.
the
Yeah.
Twitter.
Email us Gmail. It's the stinkingpaws@gmail.com. And probably the best place to get us is the blogspot, which is thestinkingpaws.blogspot.co.uk.
There we are.
Awesome.
So, and like, if you're a fan of films and you've not listened to that, if you listen to our podcast and you don't know who Stinking Paws are, you haven't been following,
No.
really.
Good point.
We're not too sure who you are either.
Yeah. Well, actually, Jo did find you on the street, didn't she? She just dragged you in on the
Literally,
street.
just
We
two
were-
vagabonds.
Dragons. It was like a scene at a Capricorn 1 in this heat. We were looking for snakes.
You were trying to
weren't we?
look for snakes in a
we
hollow
were at
somewhere.
one point. But yeah, we were rescued at the last minute, dragged in here, and to be honest, we don't even know why we're here.
No.
What are we doing? It's certainly more professional than our setup.
I think, yeah. I mean, that isn't difficult in itself, but it is a lot more professional than ours.
Yeah, not less dead air.
Well, you say professional.
And also, dead air is not a bad thing if the thing that you're filling the dead air with is just gibberish.
So you say it's more professional. We have just brought more equipment to make it,
To
to
make it
cover up
look-
the fact that we don't really know what we're doing.
We've got a great
That's
setup.
the secret. We've got a great setup. We just don't know how to. Like I said to you when you came in, it's like it's the best time we've ever set it up, all the levels and everything, and we don't even know what we did.
That's
No.
the way it
That's
always
all.
is.
Normally, when we have guests, something always goes wrong with the sound. This time round, it seems to be working.
It is.
I
It is working.
just realised,
We didn't record on the backup,
yeah.
so it's cool.
so maybe I'll turn that on now.
Just in case we do get any drops later. What the hell was that? That gave us a little bit of feedback in there. Never mind.
Shall I turn it on?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
No, it's fine now. It was
This
just when
is-
you turned it on, there was just a weird noise.
Okay. Well, this is actually the show,
Yeah.
and we haven't got into it yet.
Oh, brilliant. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we said we were going to start off normal, probably about a bit of news and thing. What's going on?
It's all right.
Don't look scared at things.
It says that the last file is 275 hours, 57 minutes, and 55 seconds long.
Oh, really?
But it
That's one
hasn't.
of our podcasts.
Oh, dear. I think we're all a bit loud looking at that.
But yeah, so
You know.
we can. The thing is with this, right? We can cut bits out because we're not filming. It'll be easier to cut bits out.
Yeah, and I don't have to edit the video.
Yeah.
No, we don't need to cut anything out. What's the point
It's
in
all.
doing that?
It's all gold. It's all
We
gold.
haven't started yet.
No.
No, this is true. This is true. We've heard that Charlie can be a little bit of a loose cannon,
Oh yeah.
and he
Hothead,
makes,
if
He's
you-
poised. He's ready to go. Just look at him.
and that your job as editor can be quite taxing at times.
Yeah.
Scott.
It's very taxing. We let certain things go through. We've become a bit more relaxed over the last year.
I've noticed a few more cunts.
That's our guest host.
I was just about to say this. I guess you can't say that.
We've become a bit more relaxed. There's certain taboo subjects that Charlie will throw at me to test.
Yeah.
Test my editing skills.
Right.
And they will not see the light of day, I do promise, because they will offend a lot of people.
I must make very clear that I do. It's just usually general misfortune. It's not usually racism or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just
Stuff we find funny,
Yeah.
It is. It's just one of those situations though where you know you really shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
It's the shock factor, isn't it?
It is the shock
usually?
factor. Yeah, it's one of those. I actually read an article on it this week, which I didn't. I was going to bookmark why we laugh, but I didn't. And it is just to cover up any sort of uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. Because you find that sometimes you, like you say, you just laugh at really inappropriate.
Yeah.
Horrible things that aren't funny. I mean, we've covered quite a few of them already in the past. We were talking about just before we were setting up, like, because Robbie Polanco emailed in again. He was
Yes.
listening to episode 3.5.
Yeah, that was the
Which-
one that we lost. You said about actually. That's the one we lost,
Oh.
and we re-recorded the whole thing, and we hit all the same subjects and. hit all
And
the same
just the
marks. We just
enthusiasm
had to
wasn't there.
recreate it. We actually
It
had
was
to
awful.
recreate the whole episode.
And that was another one that Corky was
I'm gonna
sat
get
in
on
on,
this
wasn't
early.
it? Because, yeah, it was early days, wasn't it? So Corky was still around. And
Was
he
it the first
really.
one he was on.
Yeah, I think it
It
was.
was.
And he just really, I think he wasn't sure about podcasting anyway in the beginning, and
didn't
then
know.
he sat through an hour and 20 minutes of an episode, and then when we went to render, it disappeared.
Yeah.
And then we had to go back through it all again, and he really, really wasn't into it at all by the end of the second. I think that's why he didn't come back for a year.
Well, yeah, and actually, he didn't come back today because we said last week that he would probably come back, but he got called into work,
Yes,
and it's probably for the best, to be fair.
Yeah.
So we kind of want to concentrate on the guests.
exactly.
So, anywho, so I'll address that.
So, shall we do? What do we want to do first? Do we want to ask the guys about themselves, or do we want to do some news first?
know. I mean-
What's the plan? We were supposed to have talked about this before we started recording.
We were, weren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of things we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I know.
Have you got news?
I've got some news.
Do you
I
wanna do
mean,
news first?
like last week, right?
Loosen up. Let them get
Yeah,
a few
yeah,
beers
we'll
in
get-
them,
yeah,
and
that's
then,
it,
and then
yeah,
they'll
and
tell
then-
stuff they wouldn't normally tell.
Then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Last week, I did bring up that whole missing airliner thing in Malaysia, and we really didn't expand on it at all because
No, we kind of interrupted you. And
Yeah.
you did keep trying to get back on it.
I
but
tried,
For some reason, we
but
just
I
kept
gave
going,
up.
No, we want to talk about something else. Fuck
we
the
want to
missing
talk
people.
about porn for OAPs. I think was the
No,
overriding.
prostitutes for pensioners.
That's it. Yeah, free.
Free Viagra with first purchase.
Yes. That was going to be Corky's. We were going to set up a petition on e-petitions, but we chickened out in the end, didn't we?
And then we stopped talking about the Malaysian Airlines.
Yeah, again, see porn and pensioners and prostitutes.
Gets excited.
Yeah.
That's my afternoon.
Speaking of Harold Chipman.
But pretty much the entire week's news is revolved around this missing airliner, and I don't understand how an airliner can go missing in this day and age.
Yeah, I heard somewhere another article I read that I didn't bookmark to read, but I did read it all. And somebody had you can tell I read it because I said somebody had a theory that it was probably hijacked. And they disabled all the security features, and
This is what was revealed last night, wasn't it, in the news?
Yeah.
They actually confirmed that.
Oh, they did
confirm
confirm
it
it.
now.
That all the guidance systems were switched off.
Oh,
And then it headed in completely the other direction. That was the last.
Yeah, because they started looking in the China Sea, didn't they, between China and Indonesia.
I think it's Kazakhstan now.
Now, yeah, they're saying on the BBC website here, they reckon that it could be anywhere from Kazakhstan to the Indian Ocean, which is quite a long way.
Yeah.
It's a very long way.
it's not that far on a map.
No, it's not. I was going to say on this map.
Travel
it's
by
like
map.
this far.
Yeah.
But it's it's a bit scary. I mean, apparently, what they're saying, according to satellite evidence, the plane could have continued flying for a further 7 hours
Well, with all the fuel
after
it had
its
on,
last radar
Shit,
contact.
so that could be fucking anywhere.
So, I mean,
So what are they going to do now? They're going to crowdsource bloody searching maps of the world, like satellite images of the world. Because they set up a website, didn't they, where everyone took a section of map and section of satellite image and checked, and kind of flagged anything up, and then they cross-referenced it with other people that had checked it. See,
It's not being funny. It's a jumbo jet. It's not like losing a £1 coin down the back of the sofa.
it's not, is it? No.
Well, I thought it was strange, actually.
Hang on, audio's gone.
Oh, no.
No, there it is. Sorry, it was just it wasn't showing any wave.
Oh, right.
It's never done that before. Yeah, I'm just going to assume it's still recording. when
Okay.
It does that now. At least it's not frozen like it did before.
It was funny though. We were talking about the Malaysian Airlines thing at work, and I said, I think it's a genuine conspiracy. And so I can't remember who. They said, no, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I just think they're trying to cover something up.
My favourite kind of conspiracy.
Fucking work with geniuses.
It's very peculiar though.
It is weird. I don't understand, because why would you, unless there's something on that plane that people want, why would you hijack it? Like, they didn't seem.
Neeson.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you think it could just be the best,
Liam Neeson.
viral advertising for non-stop?
It could be.
It's still fucking going 7 hours later.
That's your Oscar winner next year, chaps.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. This is who they need to sort out international
it's true,
crises,
because
isn't it, though, really?
The last time you had massive hijack, plane thing, it was the September the 11th. So, they hit the World Trade Center, which is big for the American sort of... I lose words when I start talking.
It's like
economy, and then they aimed for the Pentagon. So they were actually trying to achieve something. With this, it's kind of like we nicked a plane.
And we're hiding
We
it.
just wanted a plane.
Yeah.
I get the impression, though, it might be individuals that were on the plane that they might want.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying, because they haven't said much about the people who were on there.
No,
like
that's true.
they've released that there were certain people from like Australia, and there were a couple of backpackers from Europe, but mainly it's Chinese and Indonesian nationals.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say, did they actually say if there was any high profile?
No, this is what I'm saying.
They haven't said any.
There were 4 with fake passports.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, is it 4 now?
Yeah, because it was 2 at the time last week, but they've increased that to 4.
But they said those 2 were just asylum seekers, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so, but you're not sure because it could be these hijackers. It just I don't know. It's kind of
bit of an odd one.
It astounds me that you can lose a plane. Like you say, it's not a £1 coin down the back of the sofa.
It's there
is it?
somewhere. You're just not looking hard.
But
enough.
also, do you not think
it.
that someone on that plane would turn their phone off flight mode and try and get, regardless of whether it will drop the plane out of the sky, just to tell someone where they are?
No, that's the new thing. You're allowed electronics on planes now, aren't you?
The internet works, doesn't it, on planes sometimes?
Yeah,
Some of the planes have got Wi-Fi, haven't they?
Tweets.
Although
Hashtag help.
Hashtag hijacked.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh, so it begins. Culkin.
We've had some really good hashtags in the last 3 episodes.
Oh, we really have.
Find us Friday.
That's when your mum comes and says, what's this hashtag fuff?
Well, we've got the hashtag for today's show now.
Yeah.
That's the title of the episode.
Yeah, that
hashtag
might be
fuff.
the title of the episode. Yeah, apparently, it could be anywhere from Kazakhstan to the Indian Ocean, and that to me is like,
there's not a big chance.
Someone must have seen a rogue airliner. Like, you can't just land that in a field somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, it is. That's very true. It's odd.
I'd say I do dislike always putting my conspiracy hat on, but for me, when there's something as like bloody conspicuous as a plane, there's got to be something hidden about this.
Yeah, and they're not
No.
crashing it
Yeah.
into a building or
Exactly,
something
yeah.
like that. There's something on it that they want. It's like...
On next week's
kind of-
Emmerdale, another plane.
But it's there's going to be a film once.
Oh, fucking of course there is.
There will be for this, yeah.
Yeah, and it is kind of it's good timing that Non-Stop is in the cinemas as well.
Yeah.
The Liam Neeson film
It
about
was all one big
hijacking on a
publicity
plane.
stunt.
It just
Potentially though, but I think if it ends up really ugly and innocent people have died, then then it might be quite damaging for the film as well. You know what I mean?
True.
'Cause
That's
I can
a good point.
imagine like if there was a big terrorism film out when 9/11 happened, I think people would have just not wanted to go.
Did they?
well, Oliver Stone brought out. Oh, I see what you
Wasn't
mean.
there
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
pictures or
yeah.
delayed for
I see
9/11?
what you're saying. Sorry,
Wasn't there something at the time of 9/11?
Spider-Man.
It was delayed, wasn't it?
Spider-Man.
Built the web between the two
Because
towers.
the original teaser was the two bank robbers
course it
escaped
was,
in a
yeah.
helicopter, and then
He called it in. Yeah.
and then got caught in a big web between the trade centres.
Did you
If
see?
only.
Because bank robbers generally use helicopters to get away as well. That's
Exactly,
what I
yeah.
find.
Very subtle.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they just borrowed one from Malaysian Airlines because no one seems to know where they go.
And you know the trailer was erased as well. There's no
no
footage
record of
left
it,
of
is there?
that name.
Oh, really?
So could well be.
Did you see on Facebook this week as well? You know, you get those viral posts on Facebook. Oh, look at what this dad did to his daughter when he saw her on a webcam, and you click it, and then it posts to your page. I don't understand what the benefit of those are, but there was one. It was like the Malaysian Airlines plane has been found in the Bermuda Triangle, and I was like, that's a long way from where it went missing. And it was like this thing, you click on it and it shares it to your page, and it's just like
Just
so.
like a virus thing.
Oh
isn't it?
right,
Yeah.
I've not seen those.
I saw it and I was like, well, clearly I'm not going to click on that one.
There was another one saying it had been found in Vietnam.
Oh
They're,
right.
they're all of the same thing where there's
It's
no
all the same
video
picture,
there.
I imagine,
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, it's just that it's kind of sickening, really.
It doesn't help really. It doesn't
No.
help the situation.
Not really. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's been found. Fuck it,
Yeah.
I won't care about it anymore."
It'll be in the last place that you look.
Yeah,
Isn't it, as your mum
these
always
things that
Where did you last see
Where
it?
did you last?
In the sky.
my keys are always in the last place I look. They're normally in my pocket.
Why don't we look there first?
Well, this is it. Yeah.
I'm glad, I'm glad we don't know too much about it now because we can sort of have a joke about it.
This is
but
it, yeah. I mean, the people listening to this in the future might think this is terribly bad taste.
But we don't know what happened, so
No,
it's
exactly.
fine.
It's still going on. We have no proof.
It's still going on. All those people are still missing, so we're going to make fun of the situation. Because that's what you do.
It's funny because it didn't happen to me.
Exactly, Schadenfreude. I don't know. They've got detailed maps about like tracking the airline. I don't know whether I can be bothered to search this because then no one can see it. So, how can a plane vanish? Let's have a look. This isn't going to be a.
David Copperfield.
Thank you. Also, I wanted to make the joke, but I can't remember his fucking name. So ask that magician who makes big things disappear.
Oh, it's not
Make it
actually a
blind.
feature. It's just it's a
Rhetorical question.
film thing. Yeah, it's the BBC asking a rhetorical question, and it's a video piece as well. I thought they were actually going to answer how a plane can go missing, but there's nothing in here. Because that would be the best thing of all, like just some random BBC reporter striking on how it could happen, but no.
How can it happen?
Sorry.
In a big ball of flames.
Oh!
Fucking dice. Angel dice clay.
Oh. Right. Moving on.
Speaking of fire,
like this episode going down in flames.
Speaking of fire, there was
I'm going to start now as well, sod it.
Yeah, I need to, because I need to drive, so I'm hoping it gets out of my system a bit before I get in. I haven't eaten a lot, and I'm a very light drinker, so I think I've already started slurring my words. I've only had 2 mouthfuls.
Galahad is 3.9%.
Exactly.
So fire, like there was an alert that the Stormfront, the Apple reseller in Fremlin Walk,
it set
went
on
up
fire,
in
didn't
flames. No,
No,
it didn't.
Oh.
So what it was an anti-theft device. Went off about 7:30 this evening. The idea of the anti-theft device, it fills the shop with smoke to disorientate thieves.
Yeah. I saw
But then
that.
nobody can catch the thief because they can't see either.
No,
It seems like a bit of a ridiculous.
it's interesting.
It's
I
assisting
remember.
them, really, isn't it? Like,
Well, yeah, they can hide quite easily. Then get out. It's like throwing a smoke bomb on the floor. It's a Batman ploy.
It's a
Bane.
It's just like he picks up an iMac, goes to walk out, the smoke goes off, he goes, cheers, and just carries on walking. He's already heading towards the door. He knows where the door is.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
It looked quite badass as well to come
You're
out.
just
of
walking out of flames with an iMac in your hands.
the- Real men don't look at explosions.
As we bring in the slow motion and the heavy bass bloody theme tune.
Yeah, I saw that play in a Blockbuster in High Wycombe once as well. Like, who
I've never
would
heard of it
steal
before.
from a Blockbuster in High Wycombe? Like the whole shop was just filled with smoke.
I like the fact that
we
you can
were-
actually steal from Blockbuster quite easily. You can borrow the videos and
Well,
just
yeah,
not bring them
never
back.
take them back.
Yeah.
That's probably why they went out of business. I mean,
I remember when I was a kid, we had this video. It was videotape as well. We hired a video from Blockbuster, and as a kid, I just remember it always being in the cupboard. Like there's this tape. It's like a 3-day. I just remember most of my childhood. There was this Blockbuster video case in the cupboard.
Wasn't Mummy and Daddy's special video? Was it?
No, well, I didn't
One
know.
you weren't allowed to watch.
Because the case on it said like ABC's songs or something. It was,
ABC
it was like when I was really young.
so that was the precursor to this podcast.
Well,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
It was like animated ABCs or something.
Oh.
Like so, it was like a child's film that we hired and just never took it back. And the ridiculous thing is, where we used to live, Blockbusters was like a 5-minute walk.
Right. Yeah.
So they could have quite easily taken it back. So why has this video not gone back? Because we get charged and we just don't want to get charged. And for like about 5 or 6 years, we couldn't get a Blockbuster card because their name was like blacklisted at Blockbuster. That was when there was
You
like
think-
several video shops, so we just stopped going to Blockbuster and went to
Somewhere
like a
else.
smaller one.
Yeah, the one over in Martin Square.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
so
well,
nice.
like an independent.
Yeah.
Sort of one.
Yeah, no.
There
it
used to be a
was-
really good one over in Snodland.
Was it on Union Street? It was very close to Blockbusters. It was just like up the road from Blockbuster. It
Yeah,
just
there
on a
was another
corner.
one, wasn't
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Isn't it weird though when you think back to that thing and just how much of a time capsule that feels like?
Yeah.
just the idea of going to rent a video now is. I mean,
Yeah.
you used to run a
my old
video
job
shop,
for 8
didn't you?
years.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
It used to be an event though, didn't it? Oh, should we go? What film should we go and hire a film? And you go up there and you buy your tub of Haagen-Dazs and you buy your bag of Maltesers and your bottle of your 2 litre, all overpriced.
No,
2
massively,
litre bottle of
yeah.
Coke and.
Yeah.
But
sit
still
there
not
and
as
you-
overpriced as the cinema.
True.
No, very
Like
true.
the cinema prices today are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ooh, back
that's-
in my day.
You know, that's what me and this like last night was like, what do you want to watch? Just check Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end,
It's so easy now.
I was going to say in the end, I watched Iron Man 3.
Oh right.
Didn't use Netflix.
No.
No, I've got other means of finding
Okay.
films.
Acquiring.
Is it a galleon and do you wear an eye patch?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, pretty much.
It's okay because that film wasn't very good anyway. So.
It was alright.
It's fine.
I know a lot of people have problem with the Mandarin, but I absolutely love
Yeah.
Trevor. I thought he was brilliant. Trevor was amazing.
Trevor Slattery.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Trevor Slattery.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm not sure.
It's not as bad as the second Iron Man film. The
I
second
kind
Iron
of
Man
like
film
that. Just
wasn't
I
really-
like the Iron Man films just for the nature of them. Just
Yeah.
the big, like as a film, yeah, it's probably not great, but it's so much fun to watch. I just Iron Man 1 though.
Absolutely. I thought that was the best of the three as it stopped.
Yeah, but we're recording backup, so it's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's a very good point. So yeah, Iron Man 3. It was alright.
Yeah.
Tom, we're recording back up.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
Just carry on. I know it is annoying.
I can't remember where I was going with that. Anyway, yeah, but it's weird because you used to go in there, and it's the video covers that I remember the most as well, and it was always the slasher movies.
Yeah.
As well, because it was just.
That is the thing. When you used to go to video shops, it was a case of what looks good.
Yeah.
What looks like it's going to be fun. If you don't really fancy anything, you can just keep walking up and down the aisles until you see a case.
And the old slasher movies did have brilliant covers.
You could guarantee that most of the horror movies, the cases would have no relationship to the movie.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing to do with them.
They're designed for you to pick them up off the shelf, aren't they?
It's eye candy, basically.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them...
I've watched a lot of crap films do it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the only way you can educate yourself, I think, on some of the worst films out there.
I'm trying to remember which one was it we watched. We picked one up. We didn't know what to watch, and we picked one up, and I can't remember who had it. It was about this woman lost her baby, and then everyone was like, the baby didn't. It was like people getting abducted, and the way they got abducted, like the way they portrayed the abduction was the people just got ripped up from the. And it was probably quite a bit. There's big names in it.
Skyliner.
Possibly. Like there was one. It took me by surprise the first time it happened. They were in a building, and this guy just got ripped out of the building, just went shooting up through the ceiling. It's like the best abduction sort of thing I've seen. I don't remember the film.
Is it a recent one?
No.
Oh, right. Because I was going to say, I've got Skyline.
Yeah, that sounded like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, just out of the building.
Oh, right.
The best abduction scenes I've ever seen. It's just crazy. It's like,
because
what use are they going to be? They're going to be dead before you get to sort of probe them.
I wasn't sure what kind of abduction you were talking about, actually. At first.
I can't remember.
I thought you were talking about like...
It ended up not being aliens.
Right.
Which is really weird, but I don't know.
Can just see Charlie
just
not controlling himself.
I'm not going to say anything.
But yeah, so like, but people will know what that film is, and they'll probably comment. Hopefully,
but I was surprised.
Stephen and Smokey, at least.
I was surprised though that Blockbuster didn't kind of go the way that Love Film and Netflix
They did,
went.
but they did it too late.
Yeah,
they were a couple of years too late. They
but
didn't have
were,
an online streaming service, online rental service.
You'd have thought that company would have been at the forefront of that kind of thing because they were the biggest name in rentals for years. But they were stuck in
their ways, weren't they? This is the way we work. This is what we're doing. And another company obviously saw it and went, well, we could do that a lot better and a lot more convenient.
Yeah.
And I think as well, Blockbuster ran the risk of, losing a lot of their staff jobs by introducing that. Do you know what I mean? They still wanted to keep the physical element there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're sort of just defeating the whole object of having the stores, I guess. Really.
Maybe.
Can you imagine, though, if you saw that this was going to happen, the Blockbuster go out of business, you just go and rent as many films as you can and just keep them.
Yeah, I should have seen that one coming, shouldn't I?
Yeah, shit, why did I think of that now?
That must have absolutely crippled them in the last few weeks, actually. People would have definitely done that.
Yeah.
And they do video games as well, don't they?
That's right, yeah.
They did, yeah.
I've been made redundant from 4 different video stores.
Right.
They've all gone out of business under my leadership. And the closing down sales on top of your staff discount are fantastic.
I bet, yeah.
So the amount of videos I got, I had something like 3,000 videos in my cellar at one point. I never watched any of them.
What is not mentioned is you got made redundant every time because of the thieving.
Yeah, those 3,000 videos weren't the staff discount and closing down sale. No. That was previous.
We're certainly not insinuating that you ran the stores into the ground to increase your own collection.
No, what it was, the whole chain was gradually closing, and they moved me to each store as it closed down. So I became an expert at shutting down stores. It was great.
You were the harbinger of doom.
they knew they were in trouble.
Oh God, Scott's here!
Start packing, lads. It's happening.
Because you two do a very similar job. I'm going to go on to the interview section of the thing now.
I've got a couple of news.
Yeah, me too. We can come back to it when it feels right.
We've got time.
Yeah. Because you guys met... when did you meet? Was it recently?
It wasn't that long ago, was it?
No, it was probably sort of November, October 2012.
Year for last, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, about 18 months ago, possibly. Yeah,
because that is like...
We had this discussion just before you arrived.
Yeah.
How strange it is that you both come from London.
Was it roughly the same area as well?
Is it roughly the same area as well? You both came from London. You both moved to Medway.
Yeah.
but you met doing a job like
the same kind
and
of.
it's not a common job that people would like. It's not like working in a shop, but you both went to the same job. It's a bit strange. It seems weird.
Almost, yeah. I mean, almost as if we were destined to podcast.
Yeah, our friends do sort of refer to Charlie as like Scott's mini me.
Yeah.
And when he did have his head shaved, it was quite freaky.
It was frightening.
Yeah.
It was like,
to the point where members of staff would actually come up to me because they hadn't seen me from the front, tap me on the shoulder and say, "Oh, sorry, Scott, I've got someone on the phone for you." I wouldn't mind, but he's got about 20 years on me.
This is the thing about shaving your head, though, isn't it? You
Yeah.
could be any age.
Exactly. You can.
We've had this conversation that out of the pod pals, I think I am the grand old man of this particular group, aren't I? We think Ira may be older.
Ira is.
I think Ira's probably not far.
I don't want to make a guess on how old Ira is.
It's not like he can come and get us.
No, it's true, but he is Ira Smash, isn't he? And
Yes.
he will.
But yeah,
will
I mean, they
smash
all
the
refer
Atlantic.
to him as the old man, and I think they're all in their 30s.
He's in his 40s.
And they
for
made fun
definite.
of him.
Yeah, I
being
know
old,
the feeling.
so-
I know
Yeah.
the feeling.
I suppose it's just because podcasting is still a relatively new
Yeah.
technology, isn't it? So
Yeah.
most people, you know, for Scottish generation, it's very much radio was a huge thing.
Mm.
It's sort of declined for us, I guess, and podcasts have almost taken it over and allowed new people to broadcast their work.
Yeah.
So,
Well, look at all the trouble broadcasting in the 70s has created.
This is the new Radio Caroline, isn't it? Basically, and from Caroline stemmed all the nastiness.
Speaking of which, I've got a story.
what a nice link.
No, but it was terrible, wasn't it?
Well, segue to segue.
Well, yeah. Like the remember the Ian Watkins case a little while ago?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Right.
the ex-Newfound Glory guitarist
Yes.
Steve Klein. This was yesterday. It popped up on Facebook.
Yeah.
He's the one with the hat and the lip piercing.
Right.
In Newfound Glory.
I think I remember him.
You're a big fan of Newfound Glory, aren't you, Scott?
One of my favourites.
Yeah.
I'm aware of their work.
It's sort of like a new metal.
They were kind of
pop
pop punk.
No,
Yeah.
I knew the Lost Prophets. I'll admit to that.
Personally.
So yeah, he had been arrested. He's been released. The judge released him. He didn't post any bail though. So like he didn't say you have to pay this much to be released. He was, but he's been. Where have they all gone? See, there's updates coming. But he was arrested in 2 counts of lewd conduct with a minor under the age of 14, 3 counts of lewd conduct with a minor 14 or 15, 1 count of intent to commit lewd acts with a minor, and 1 count of possession of child pornography.
Right. So this.
Which is horrific.
Yeah. I've got a picture of Newfound Glory up here for Scott.
That's
Which one looks most paedophilic there, I suppose, is
It's
what
Liam,
you're-
isn't
Which
it?
one does?
yeah, that's
Oh my God! Is
That's-
that's him there.
that's him.
That's the one I thought. I bet it's him. The one with the baseball hat on.
Yeah, and then he did have a lip piercing at one point as well. I believe that's the one. Now,
Yeah, we believe that's on. We believe we're accusing this man of being a paedophile.
I haven't said he's a paedophile.
Okay,
you
then.
did.
Yep.
Now, I did it for a reason because I've read the article.
Ah,
Now, his solicitor.
I'm the son over here.
Yeah.
Right, his attorney.
Yes.
We're talking American. So his attorney released a statement. Point 1: Steve Klein is not accused of having lewd actual physical contact with any minor.
Oh, that's all right then.
All charges against Steve are derived solely from online consensual video chats between Steve and some female strangers he met on an adult website. Still, Steve believed the females were over the age of 18.
Well, you've got to
we
click
know
that.
how 13-years can look like 18-years these days.
And you've got to click that button to say that you're over 18.
Yeah,
and
so, there's big security measures.
People always... Yeah.
The females alleged to be minors in this case are not known females. Not known females. What? So they're males posing as female? No, they're not known. The names aren't known
Right,
or
I see.
anything like that.
Okay.
This means that no one, not the prosecution, not the police, and not the defence, actually know who the females are, and no one knows their true age. The possession of child pornography charge is based solely on Steve allegedly possessing the videos of the chats with the female strangers from the adult website. So it's like, that's all they're allowed to say. So it's kind of like he's had these chats, video chats, and it's an adult website.
Yeah.
So he's gone on there looking for
whatever.
webcam ladies.
Slut roulette.
And he's obviously recorded the videos, so that's the child pornography, and they're saying they're 18. So there's a lot of charges. So he's done this a lot. He's been foiled a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah. Everyone's got their own little kink, haven't they? I suppose, but
not everyone's is.
I don't think.
Minors.
I don't think.
Can you say he's a paedophile?
Well, I think it's important to remember that was from his attorney,
Yeah.
so that was his
exactly.
side of the argument.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know. It's a bit of a moral conundrum, even if he didn't know, isn't it? Really, because
Still doing it.
Because it's
well, yeah.
they're a very you walk around town and you do see, especially in summer, and you see girls and you think, oh, hang on a minute, I'm not quite sure about that one, because it's just the male brain, isn't it? You're always sure. But it's just the male brain. Like, you see someone from behind, then you look at them from the front, and it's just kind of like, oh shit. And that's when they're probably like 15 or 16.
I generally find if they're in a school uniform, they're probably too young.
off limits.
I was going to say, but you wouldn't get on webcam sites, you wouldn't get girls in school uniform, but you would.
You probably would.
Little do you know, that's her school uniform. She's just got in. This could go really wrong if Corky was here.
Yes.
So, but like when you're walking around, you do see something and you do question. I know you've got to be careful because Joe listens to the podcast.
Of course.
So, if you're watching a webcam show and you've got, especially if they're like 13, under the age of 14, it's quite obvious.
You would have thought so.
I do find it quite weird that a successful musician is resorting to.
This is it.
Sort of
You always kind of think like these musicians are up to their nuts and guts half the time anyway. Like, do they really need to go?
The problem is, like Newfound Glory and people like that, a lot of the fans are
teenage girls.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But then we've had conversations previously about Pete Townsend and that whole thing that kicked off 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And claimed that he was researching a book.
I initially thought it was a book, and the running gag was, where's
Where's
this
the book?
then? But it was a series of essays that were actually published on his website, and I think Pete Townsend's got arrested for registering credit card details with child pornography sites. But his line of defence, which I thought was quite convincing, was the fact, I have done this, but I've done it all in my own name. So, if I was genuinely looking at images for gratification, then I would have used a fake name. And it turned out that he hadn't purchased anything. He literally just
registered the card
so we could write an essay on the process of how paedophiles go about
Right.
acquiring stuff. So there was a lot that wasn't really explained in the tabloids, that when you look in depth.
Yeah, that's very...
And a lot of his history of being abused as a child as well has come out since then as well, hasn't it? Because he was a victim.
That's a very difficult situation, isn't it? Like, where does the law stand on that?
I think he was warned for it.
Yeah.
And they said, we can't really accept you doing that, even if it is for educational purposes. And I think he held his hands up and said that was wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's so much different to him actually even looking at the images or. And then that's a whole other thing, isn't it? It's like, is child pornography a victimless crime? Because people have come out and said that, and I really don't think it is, because you're creating a demand for it to carry on. Someone's been abused just by you looking at it. Really.
The fact that there's demand out there means that it has to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
No, a nice topic.
I'm glad I brought that article up.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting us, guys.
We're drinking on Sunday mornings, talking about child porn.
And as Tom's a Newfound Glory, as you know who Newfound Glory are, and you're aware of their songs,
I am. Yeah.
you will love this first comment on Facebook.
Okay.
And it's all downhill from here.
Yes, which is a song of
which
theirs.
is one of their songs, which is incredible. I was looking through the article. I got to the bottom. The comment section usually provides gold, and it won't load, but it's just got that, and it's all downhill from here. And I was like, "That's fucking genius."
Well done, that fan.
Well done.
So how recently...
Jonathan Anthony Wolfe.
Nice one, John.
How
recently have these allegations come out? Has it been a...
Well, actually, it was... Last year he was actually arrested for it, but it's only now that the details are starting to come out. But
it was a bit like that with Ian Watkins as well, wasn't
actually,
it? That took quite a while.
This was December, I think. December last year. Actually, no.
What, December just gone, or the one before that even?
No, the December just gone.
Right.
And his wife... No. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No or yes?
Yes, December just gone. But it was actually, there's a thing about him and his wife actually filed...
Divorce?
They filed for property.
I would imagine.
So, like, they're splitting the property. That was in September 2012.
Right.
So, obviously, they bring that into it because that's got to be a contributing factor to their split. But actually, I've totally forgot about this part. But Newfound Glory released a statement as well recently about this. Yeah. Now, listen to this statement. They're really concerned for their guitarist. Upon our return from Warped Tour Australia, Steve made us aware of possible allegations that might be made against him. At that point, not knowing all the details, we made the decision to part ways in order for him to deal with his personal issues.
So they were like, fuck off.
Fine. Us 4 members of Newfound Glory have given our entire lives to this band, and we continue to do so. We've been able to play all over the world for the most amazing fans. We can't wait to get in the studio to make a new album. We can't wait to get back on the road. Just coming off the Parahoy cruise, sorry. It's not like me to stumble over words.
No.
And a surprise show in our hometown. We are more inspired than ever. Thank you so much to everyone for everyone around the globe for sticking with us. And it's like, so they've kind of done this little bit to say, yeah, he's gone.
And then a massive
And us remaining 4 have put our whole lives into this.
Yeah. And we're recording a new album and we're going to get back out very soon.
It's just like... he's a founding member. So it's like the 5 members of Newfound Glory put their lives into it. Not just the 4.
So they basically dumped him.
They've gone, fuck that.
Well, they probably saw what happened to Ian Watkins.
Right,
and
true, yeah.
I mean, you know.
I genuinely felt sorry for the other people in Lost Profits.
Yeah, me too.
They had no idea. I imagine they had no idea.
It came out, I think they only found out about it when it went to court, I think.
I felt sorry for them. I really don't like their music. So in a way, but yeah, it must be
I don't
really
mind
difficult.
their music.
They've got a couple of songs that are good.
It's tainted now.
Yeah.
A little bit, but yeah.
Tainted love.
But we actually said on the podcast when we spoke about that, we actually had a friend who was 14 at the time.
She was 14 and she used
travel
to
on their tour bus with them.
That's worrying, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning that. Actually, yeah. It's that difficulty again as well, isn't it? If it's someone you really admire and these allegations come out, it's like, can you still listen to the music?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Michael Jackson thing, isn't it,
Yeah.
really? Because I really like Michael Jackson's music and I appreciated his performances and stuff like that, but...
Yeah, funnily enough, when we came down to the pub to have that drink, Tom went, "Oh, you've got Thriller."
You had Bad.
Oh, was it Bad? Sorry, you went, "Oh, you've got Bad."
I was like, let's stick Bad on.
Yeah, so it's like, I love Michael Jackson's music. You know?
Yeah.
With him as well, it's entirely different situation.
Nothing was ever.
It's still wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it's still wrong if it is true, but it's an entirely different situation. From the age of like 5 or 6, that's all he knew was
conditioned to be a
was
star,
business.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's right.
And all these
He had
child
no
stars
childhood.
generally turn up to be completely screwed in some way or another.
Macaulay Culkin's not doing too well at the moment.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, I heard something recently about him.
He's got that band where all of their songs,
The Velvet Underground covers, aren't they?
but with pizza.
Yeah,
Really?
But all the lyrics are
based.
changed about pizza.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think. What could I mean,
They're called the
must
Pizza
know.
Underground, or something like that, aren't they?
This is Macaulay Culkin, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So what are the big Velvet Underground tracks? Like I
I'm
don't
lost.
know, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, yeah.
What's that one?
Venus in Furs.
I'm sticking with you
Because I'm made out of glue.
because I'm made out of glue.
Yeah, I don't know any of the lyrics, but I have heard that is.
They're all pizza related.
Yeah. All the lyrics
It's a
are
very
changed about
niche
pizza.
group,
It
isn't it?
is, yeah.
I've been waiting for a pizza-based Velvet Underground group to come along.
I mean, it's what everyone really
There's a real
needs,
gap
isn't it?
in the market there, wasn't there?
Let's order a pizza and listen to some music.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin's Pizza Underground parody.
Who came up with this idea?
This is weird, isn't it?
The problem is, if it's his idea, like if he went up to his friends and was like, "I've got an idea, lads."
Somebody must have said, "That's great."
Oh, they're going on tour.
Oh, really?
Are they just doing sort of Pizza Express chains?
UK dates. There he is.
Oh my
Look at
God,
him.
really?
He looks like Kurt Cobain a little bit.
Has he gone all grunge, has he?
He's got a...
This is
Not
annoying.
quite.
He's got
We need my monitor.
Yeah, I know. We need a
Plaid
monitor up
shirt.
over here somewhere. Macaulay Culkin's Velvet Underground tribute band, the Pizza Underground, have confirmed details for their first UK dates.
Where are they playing?
The actors' band will debut their UK show at Concrete underneath the London restaurant Pizza East in Shoreditch.
This is so weird. I'm going to see him now. We've got to go.
I was just about to say, we're going to have a podcast out into Shoreditch.
Performing numbers such as I'm Waiting for Delivery Man.
There you go.
Excellent.
Well done. Yeah.
Cheese Days.
Cheese
Days,
Day,
All the pizza parties.
Yeah.
And
tomorrow's parties.
Tomorrow's.
Yeah. And Take a Bite of the Wild Slice.
So I'm take a walk on the wild side. Lou Reed. Yeah.
Oh,
the show is scheduled for the 21st of May with tickets on sale from the 7th of March, so they're out already.
It's just bizarre.
At £10.
I bet their sales are going well.
Yeah. Dates at Hull's Adelphi Club on the 1st of June and at Gloucester Guildhall on the 4th of June are also confirmed.
All the big venues.
Is this in anything to do with that pizza scene in Home Alone?
Oh,
when
could
you
well
know,
be.
Hit the change. You feel
Yeah. I
point.
bet that
That's
quote
maybe
makes
the
it in,
opener.
doesn't it?
That's going to be the opener.
The band emerged at the end of 2013, formed from the crusts of New York's anti-folk scene.
Jesus.
Its members alongside... This is The Guardian as well, that pun is from The Guardian.
This is
No,
supposed to be
I
the
imagine
eyebrow.
that's actually their band biography. I would imagine
That's
it's
the
their
press
band
release,
biography.
yeah.
Quite possibly, yeah. Its members alongside the Home Alone actor are Matt Colborne, Phoebe Kreutz, and Dina Vollmer and Austin Killam. I've got... Do we want to play a bit?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Because I've got... There's a YouTube...
Turn down the iPad. This one.
Right. Gone. Let's...
Try
I'm
and
just
get it-
going to set up...
Try and get it in the right hole.
I'll try.
Ooh,
It's the front one, isn't it? It's not the back one. The front one's the...
in the front.
You're a Barbara dear.
So this is them doing Babies Alright.
I imagine we won't be going to see them.
It sounds awful.
Oh my word. Let's just keep that playing in the background.
Yeah.
That's
So-
genuinely bizarre.
That's terrible.
There's and what it is, like they're all Macaulay Culkin's standing there in a vest, he's not really doing much, he's just singing. They're all 5 or 6 of them are singing, but they're hitting various items.
I just want that guitarist to tune
And there's
his guitar.
one guitar.
I want them to tune that guitar.
Oh, hold on.
Oh my word.
He's into it though. He's like arms up in the air.
What's he doing? Is he singing?
Yeah.
I mean, for my money, they are the best pizza-based velvet underground tribute.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to take anything away from their obvious talent. They're the best band I've ever heard sing songs about pizza.
Based on Velvet Underground.
Sergeant Pepperoni's Hearts Club.
Oh, we're done with this, aren't we? Yeah.
We're done. That's terrible.
That's
I can't
pretty...
believe you didn't know about that.
No, I'd
I'm
never
sure
heard
I
of
heard
that.
it on Hollywood Babylon. I'm sure they've mentioned
I don't.
it. Speaking of which, July.
Oh yeah, we have tickets to go and see
Yes,
it,
we
don't
do.
I saw you tweeted or
Yes.
Facebook that. Yes. Yeah.
All
That'd be
we're
quite good.
interested in really is just the whole like 3,000 people shouting "You're a fucking cunt" about
So
Justin
where
Bieber.
is it? Where actually seen?
The Apollo,
The Apollo, yeah.
Hammersmith.
Wow.
Yeah. So that would be quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Jane and Silent Bob get old
You did, didn't you?
at the Apollo, which is great. It's very surreal
It's a good
watching people record a podcast.
venue. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
It was a bit
imagine.
weird,
I
and
saw
he was about
Kanye
an hour
West
late.
there.
Did you?
I saw
Yeah.
T'Pau.
Ow.
I've seen Korn. I saw Korn there,
I've never.
supported by Static
I've
X.
never been to the Apollo. I
Have you
don't
not?
think. No.
I've never even been in stalls. I've always been up on the balcony.
It's kind of an old-fashioned venue now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an old theatre. It's an
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
sort of. It's really good. It is
Kind
good.
of like how Brixton is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like
It's
Brixton.
very
It's just
similar.
bigger.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good.
Very good.
Enjoy.
Thank you. So, how did you? I'm going to bring it back.
Let's go back.
for a second.
Bring it back.
Because we've been
Rewind.
from Macaulay Culkin, and we're going back into film again now. But how did you guys when did you guys kind of come up with the idea for doing, or how did you get inspired to start doing podcasting?
It's my idea, I think. Yeah. It'd be fair to say, wasn't it? I mean, I'd had this idea of doing it. I've been listening to podcasts for like 4, 5, 6 years, and you guys are aware of the work of the Film Thugs, and the Entertainment Landfill guys, and all these people that I was listening to for 4 or 5 years, and just enjoying it. And it was an outlet for me to actually listen to stuff that I couldn't get anywhere on British broadcast radio.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold my hands up here and make a confession. A lot of the podcasts I used to listen to, apart from the movie stuff, because I'm not allowed to mention this on air because Charlie will kill me. I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Right. Okay. So's Anne. Yeah, I'm with you, Charlie.
Good. Because I was going to ask that question so I could talk to someone about it, because I know Tom hates talking about it. Or he's getting tired of everyone mentioning it.
Every fucking podcast for about the whole of December.
I've managed to curb it.
We had an embargo on any Doctor Who talk throughout November.
Yeah.
Charlie wouldn't let me say anything.
It's not that. It's just I wouldn't have had a clue.
I've
never seen a
equally.
Episode,
yeah.
Really.
But these were the podcasts I was listening to. There was a lot of Doctor Who podcasts out there.
Right. Okay.
And listening to the quality of some of them, and it's just two guys in a shed or a living room or something like that. I thought, well, it can't be that difficult to do.
No. Yeah.
And I just, I could do a movie-based one, but I can't do it on my own.
Yeah.
So I started buying the equipment, and Charlie came around. It was Christmas, wasn't it, mate? And I had the equipment, and said, how'd you fancy doing this in a couple of weeks? We had no real plan.
I think we were initially on the Christmas do, weren't we, at work?
I think I mentioned it. And then you came round to mine a couple of weeks later.
Sort of between Christmas and New Year, wasn't it? Yeah.
And we did our first sit-down, I believe it was the January, and it has never been broadcast. No. It's not the one from the archive that we put out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It includes things like Django Unchained. I think we spoke for 55 minutes.
I can imagine that.
Wow. Yeah.
I loved it.
So we're going to probably put that out at some point because it sounded okay.
I think is that the one where in the first 20 seconds of broadcasting I called Ben Affleck a cunt?
As you normally do.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was sort of it was praising him for his work on Argo.
Okay.
There was a lot of Oscars talk. Because it was the nominations.
Yeah. It was the lead up, wasn't it?
And we just didn't have a format. We knew we were going to pick a film. And I'll tell you what film I picked for you, Charlie. It's just suddenly came back to me. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a Pedro Almodovar film called The Skin I Live In.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know about
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Pretty similar to I Saw the Devil, that it's sort of like disgusted you in some ways, mate, didn't it?
Because it's about a surgeon who
goes to
makes
the extremes.
Yeah.
Charlie called it the adult version of Flubber. And that was good, but that's never been broadcast, and that's still there, sitting in the archive.
So you've still got one stored away.
If we get really desperate.
Because it's a lot sketchier. Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, we've actually reached a better standard we are now.
We have. I think we did a 6 degrees, I think. 6 degrees of separation on that. But that was something we wanted to do. We wanted to get some sort of music-based format in there. But not rely on it because of obviously copyright reasons and things like that. So we thought some sort of musical game that was Charlie's responsibility. I've got no idea what he's choosing, and it's quite obvious in my responses sometimes. I've got no idea once he's played them. But that was in the January. I think our first actual broadcast episode went out in the July, which was Cobra, and Maurice Perros. And The Great Escape, I think, the first 3 films we did. And we sort of pride ourselves on being quite eclectic in our choices. The birthday movie, we pre-decide.
Yeah.
But we choose... We'll tell the guys about Rock, Paper, Salo, how we decide to do a movie.
Right. We may have mentioned it when we had the beer a few weeks ago. But there's a film called Salo. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's an Italian film from the 1970s, based on a book, and it's set in the Second World War during a time when Italy was very much involved in the fascist side. And from what I can remember, it's about these fascists who round up a group of children and basically torture them. But it's sort of like I mean, I think the book was supposed to be quite a serious subject, but the film's really gratuitous, and it is horrible. It is just so unbelievably horrible.
I haven't watched it in 30 years. I can't bring myself to watch it.
And we've brought up a game, Rock, Paper, Salo, where because we don't reveal what we've both chosen for each other, if there's ever an episode where we've both chosen the same film, we then have to watch Salo and possibly do a commentary.
Oh, jeez. I
would not recommend that film to anyone.
Is it just the gore of it, or
sexual gore?
Oh, really?
I mean, obviously the actors are not actually underweight. The premise of the film is actually
subject matter.
Body fluids plays a great part. Body parts.
There's some real sick films out there.
It's genuinely the worst film you could.
Because I suppose that's kind of in the same era as the Giallo horror.
It is mid-70s. Yeah.
It's just very seedy, and the way it's shot. And
grimy is one of our favourite words.
Grimy.
Yeah. But then there's a pristine Blu-ray copy out there at the moment.
A Blu-ray copy.
That's really what you want to see in high definition.
I maintained, Scott, that I actually ended up having gastroenteritis for 2 weeks after watching that film. It was funny enough. Me and a friend, we both watched it at the same time, and we were, because MSN Messenger was big back then, and we were sort of doing our own commentary on it for just our sheer disgust registered over MSN.
BRB, vomiting.
Nudge.
That went out in July, and episode number 13 was uploaded as of 2:00 this morning.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we're back together next Saturday, I believe.
Looks like I've got some overtime to do at work this week.
You may have to take a week off work because the episodes are getting longer.
They are.
And longer. But we don't care.
No,
that's the point of it.
But
you're
the thing
enjoying
is,
yourself. Isn't
you
it? You don't
guys,
do it for anyone else.
You guys have always had quite long episodes anyway, because you go fairly in depth into your.
We don't mean to though.
No, but
this is the thing. It's just once we open our mouths, it just carries on.
It just shows the passion.
But that's exactly it.
passion,
It's about passion, isn't it? And I think.
We don't give a shit about what we talk about.
No,
which is why our episodes are nice and tight.
We spend 10 minutes talking about Malaysian Airlines disappearing,
and then spend half an hour on paedophilia.
Yeah, it shows you where our passions lie.
With children.
I think a lot of it's due to the fact though that I don't really know anyone who's into film like Scott is, if that makes sense. But it's the same with music, I'd say. We're just as passionate about music.
Yeah. Right, yeah. I think that comes across as well. Like the 6 Degrees is, for those of our listeners listening to this, because I forget that we're actually talking to an audience sometimes, that don't listen to Stinking Paws. Like, it's basically... The premise is you both pick one movie that you both have to watch, and then there's the birthday movie, which is basically a movie that is
20 years old, 30 years old.
Or the events in the movie. Sometimes JFK.
JFK was the exception.
Yeah,
that was an anniversary movie.
An anniversary movie.
Yeah, that was the anniversary of the assassination of JFK, wasn't it?
That's the only
celebrating a man being shot in the head.
On live telly.
Children will watch it.
We don't care.
But no, I think it's because you're massively into the conspiracy side.
I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and the JFK thing has fascinated me for years.
You've got books and books, haven't you?
Yeah. Still no closer to uncovering the truth.
No.
Nicholas Cage in The Rock seems to have found out.
He found it, yes. That's in this week's episode. We review The Rock.
Oh, good. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
For the first time in the history of the Stinking Paws podcast, we almost came to blows.
Really? Wow.
On a difference of opinion.
Yep. Oh, awesome.
We've been pretty close in our sort of like praise of movies.
Yeah. You don't often disagree.
We don't.
Or if you disagree, then it's normally in a constructive way. Yeah.
Well, there's a bit of a disagreement this time.
Okay.
But it's done so well. I mean, Charlie puts his points across amazingly well as to why The Rock is not Oscar worthy. It's not going to win any plaudits at all.
Yeah.
But I just love it because it's, as I call, a balls out 90s action flick.
Yeah.
That you just turn your brain off and watch. I think we've only ever slagged off 2 films out of the 48 or something we've reviewed.
Yeah.
One was Space Jam.
Yes. And the other was Darkness Falls.
Darkness Falls.
That was from the Halloween episode, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was so bad.
I really couldn't watch the end of it. I think I fast forward through it. I just didn't watch the whole film. It was the only time I've ever done that for this podcast.
I think I was actually tidying my room while I watched it because it was just sort of like lack of interest, really.
It's like an elevator music.
It was awful, absolutely awful. Please don't watch it, guys. Please don't feel tempted to go down that.
It's not going to be hard for me to avoid the film. To be fair,
we wanted to ask you actually, but your movie history is quite sparse. Isn't it?
Yeah, very sparse. Like I don't watch. I can't. My mic stands in the way. I can't lean. But yeah, I don't know. It's like classic movies and things like that. I've just never got into, and I know a lot of people watch films and they get into directors and producers and writers. And I've just never had an interest in it that way. I mean,
I wouldn't say I'm interested in that side of it itself, but I think because of the sheer amount of films I watch, I ended up becoming interested. But I think you do yourself a disservice because I mean, you were speaking about Rear Window.
Yeah.
And I thought you made some really interesting sort of observations about it, to be fair. So
actually, some observations that I hadn't thought about, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I've seen it a couple of times. As to the ambiguity of the ending, anyway.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
It's just stumped on that.
Yeah. I mean, I just
when you review it this week as well, don't you?
Well, this will be it's out now.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And that's why I brought it because when we went to the pub, you said Rear Windows on our list next.
It's an ideal one for you to
see.
It's an ideal Hitchcock.
And it came like I
we were tweeting live at the time, weren't we?
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I got it the day they were reviewing it.
I get you.
So I didn't have time to watch it to send in a bang.
But also yesterday, Rope was on at 2:30.
Great film.
And it will probably be on the iPlayer.
It's on.
It actually is on the iPlayer.
That was one you mentioned last week.
Yes, it's one of my favourite Hitchcock ones.
Culkin didn't like.
He doesn't like it, and I think it's because it's a stage play. But then he did loads of stage plays.
Yeah.
But I like it for the technical aspect in that he had to revolutionise the set design because it all takes place in one apartment and it's 7 cuts, I think.
7 different. Yeah, that's right.
But it's an hour and 20-minute film, so there's 7 different shots. Like he only cut 7 times for the whole film. Yeah. And what it does, the camera moves from room to room, and they had to invent a way to move the walls on coasters, but silently.
Because they do that for the play as well, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, actually, I've heard of that because the play they actually move walls around and move the set around while the play's going on.
But it's really good.
I've actually heard of that.
If you it will probably be on the iPlayer, so like I would recommend that because it is, on a technical standpoint, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's Jimmy Stewart as well, and he's always
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think your favourite actor.
My favourite actor.
Yeah.
Yes, I will not.
Have you guys got a favourite film each?
I don't know whether I do have a favourite film, because
there was one I always said was my favourite film.
You can say
I've been made aware that you're not going to like it.
I've got an idea what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is because Tom told you. But this is one of those things. It was always my favourite film, but I haven't watched it in so long.
No, I haven't.
Consider it still your favourite film if you haven't watched it a lot. I watched it a lot at the time.
Yeah.
Well, we've got this thing that your favourite films you don't watch too often.
Yeah,
because you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
It's one you like to go back to
and still be fresh in your mind. So that's not a bad thing. So come on, what is it? And what's this film?
It's The Matrix.
Right. I've got no problem with that, Charlie.
This is going to sound mental because I do a film podcast, so I've never watched it.
Have you not?
I've never
really?
watched The Matrix.
Because it was so overhyped.
I sort of consciously avoided it.
Yeah, I do that with films. I did that with Django.
I will sit down and watch it though. Probably part of the show at some point.
It probably will be.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I'm still.
If Hank comes on, it might be his film.
I'm still umming and ahhing on that.
That's right. I mean, that's perfectly. It'd be good for me actually. It'd be an education for me.
I mean, don't watch the further 2. Don't watch the other 2. They are fucking shit.
Okay.
The first one I thought was.
The first one. It was. And
at the time, you got to think 1999. Nothing had ever been seen like that.
Yes.
Actually, on another podcast recently. recently they were talking about the Wachowskis, and
Yes.
they had the idea for the Matrix at the time, like in the mid-90s.
Was that-
And they wanted...
Drunk Geek?
No. I think it was...
Yes, well, Drunk Geek definitely mentioned it, because
Yeah,
they
I
didn't
was
know
a-
about the Wachowski. They're no longer brothers.
No, one of them's a sister.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, you didn't know either.
I'm Googling
Lana,
that later.
is it Larry?
That's
It's
been-
now Lana.
Yeah, Lana Wachowski.
No.
Yeah.
Larry Wachowski is now Lana Wachowski. Did you not know? No. Did you know?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
There. That's
Oh,
Lana
my life,
Wachowski.
it's like-
If you can...
Ronald McDonald.
Looks like a Rasta Jerry Halliwell.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Matrix. I didn't even know anything about the film before it came out.
Yeah.
It was at the cinema, and my friend went, "Oh, do you want to go watch a film?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Let's go watch the Matrix." I was like, "What's that?" He goes, "Oh, I watched it the other day, and it's fucking brilliant." And it's just so original, and it just at the time it just plays with your mind. You're like,
It does
"What the
make
fuck?"
you think. Yeah.
And there's some amazing shots in it that they revolutionised.
The bullet time,
The bullet
wasn't it?
time.
Yeah. I mean, you found that in loads of other films after they'd done that as
That
well.
can be done so much better and so much smoother now. But
Yeah.
at the time,
It was
just,
revolutionary.
And the
and
opening
they had
scene
to...
as well with Trinity running from the Asians was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did
Yeah.
you have one of the coats? Were you one of the
No.
that started walking around? Good.
I
Coats
did.
and the dark sunglasses.
But they were usually 18 stone, to be fair, the people that did
Yeah,
that as well.
mostly,
So that
yeah,
made it look
yeah.
more ridiculous.
But to be fair, you
didn't
had
it?
one,
But
but was it because of the film?
Not
it was
really.
just kind of what he used to wear.
was it a
Yeah.
fashion
I
thing,
used to
Jim?
I used to be a
Bondage
bit of
pants. First time I
a...
met him, he had big spikes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't spiky hair, it was just big spikes.
Gary Rhodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even
Like
really.
a metal Gary Rhodes.
But yeah, you like big spikes. I think you had the leather jacket and you had bondage pants. You had
Bondage
the,
trousers
the
with
cargo
the straps.
trousers with all the straps hanging off.
I
of
also
them.
had bondage top with straps between the arms, but
Yes, you did.
I stopped wearing the straps when people started trying to abduct me on nights out.
But yeah, Tom was.
I might get a pair if that happens on a night out.
It was never anyone I wanted.
No,
so-
It was always grandma's.
Peace nonsense. Newfound glory.
You can see where it's going in 20 years' time.
But yeah,
U-Tree 2.
yeah, but you were like a goth who used to listen to Blink 182.
Yeah, I know. I just, I looked alright in eye makeup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did used to wear eyeliner as well.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah. I was one of them, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I wasn't sure whether that was like a direct result of the film or that
No,
it was
no.
a fashion thing.
That was a
existed.
thing that I
Yeah.
used to dress like anyway, and then
Cool.
it became everyone used to. But then the thing is, in the film, it wasn't leather, was it? Those coats aren't made from leather. They were kind of like a. They were
It's
more
like
kind of.
PVC rubber. It was rubber, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, but Neo's one was. It was more like a material because it flowed. It had to flow.
That's true.
And the leather ones never used to do that
No.
because they were too heavy.
They were far too like tight fitting on the
Yeah,
people that usually
yeah.
used to wear them.
Yeah.
Never do that.
I mean, it made me.
I'm a small, honest.
The problem is, I used to wear all these baggy clothes. I'm quite
Yeah.
short, so it used to make me look really short,
Right.
having all
okay.
those massive baggy.
Bilbo,
Yeah. And it was
One of
only
the raggy dolls popping out of the laundry.
it was only later that I realised that actually, if I started wearing slimmer
Yeah.
clothes, that I wouldn't look quite so short
Yeah.
and dumpy.
It was only later Tom became a metrosexual.
Yeah. Now I'm fashionable.
Lots
And
of
he stopped
black.
wearing the eye makeup, which is a bit weird.
But yeah, it was around about the mid-90s they had the idea for it, but the technology wasn't quite there, and
Yeah.
Warner Brothers told them to go off and make Bound. If you've
With
seen
Meg
that.
Tilly or Jennifer
Yeah,
Tilly? Is that
Jennifer
the one?
Tilly,
Is it
I
Jennifer
think.
Tilly?
About the lesbians.
Yes, that's why I remember
Yes.
it. Yes.
Right,
Joe
okay.
Pantley, Arno, whatever his name
Yes.
is.
Yeah. And they had to make that before they were given permission by Warner
It's kind of like
Brothers.
Lucas with was it Graffiti he had to make before they allowed him to make Star Wars?
American Graffiti was about 74, yeah. That's
Yeah.
probably right.
So I remember he had an idea, and I'm sure they make him.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they're
It
like,
was another
that's
filmmaker. It might be
ridiculous.
Peter Jackson.
THX 113.
That was the student.
Yeah, that
film,
was
wasn't it? Yeah.
Spielberg, wasn't it?
That was Luke.
Oh no, it was
That was
Lucas.
Lucas.
Yeah, sorry.
Or
Yes,
was it
it
Peter
was.
Jackson had to make something before he could make Lord
Peter
of the
Jackson made The
Rings?
Frighteners before.
I can't remember. There was another big director who had to prove himself.
Yeah, because they don't want to entrust these massive projects to people who have no track record.
Probably happened with Coppola as well, to be honest.
I would imagine
he was so ambitious and spent so much bloody money.
Yeah.
But then I think he came out of the same sort of university as George Lucas, didn't he? I think
it
they
was
studied
that whole
together.
little school.
Really?
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was George Lucas, Coppola, Scorsese. They were all sort of together, weren't they? Sort of late 60s, early 70s. Yeah.
I mean, if we're going favourite films, I would have to probably pick a Scorsese film.
Yeah, I mean, he's my favourite director.
Yeah, and I really like The Departed, but I don't think it's his best work.
No, it's a good film. It's a strong film.
Really good, yeah. I think if I really had to choose, it would probably be something like Goodfellas or Taxi Driver.
Yeah, we were talking about Goodfellas on the way up here, actually. Brilliant film. Have you ever seen Mean Streets?
No, I haven't.
It's the first film that he wrote and directed. It's quite interesting to watch because it's not as polished. And it's a nice thing to watch if you're a fan because you sort of see him before he really gets into that mode.
Being Scorsese, yeah.
Harvey Keitel and Robert De Niro.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, worth a watch, mate.
Okay. I'll give it a think. There's a lot of Scorsese that I still need to see, actually.
You seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
No, I never got around to it. Again, that was another one that was hyped up, and I was like, I don't know.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think Scott did as well.
We're hoping to have another Amnesty episode this
year.
Yeah,
because your podcast, you generally go for films over 10 years old.
Yeah, because we like to spoil the buggery out of these films. So we have to pick something that's a bit older, otherwise people are going to moan about it. But we did an Amnesty episode in January, didn't we, where we chose something from the last 5 years.
Yeah.
We're looking at doing something again in sort of June, July, aren't we, hopefully?
Because it was an enjoyable experience to talk about, really.
It was just quite refreshing, you know, and I think Wolf of Wall Street may be one of the ones that we're both going to decide on.
Yeah, definitely.
And possibly Django Unchained again. I don't know. We don't know how this is going to run, but the Amnesty thing's going to become quite a regular feature now.
Okay.
Just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. And also, then people know it's an Amnesty episode, so they can stay away from it if they haven't seen those films yet.
Yeah, that's
well, you know, and then maybe, you know.
I think we made a point of actually saying at the beginning we had a section of the last 5 minutes was going to be spoilers.
Right.
We led up to that point. So switch off for 5 minutes if you don't want to hear the ending. I think we were quite conscious on that one, weren't we? But
I was going to get another sort of jingle sorted as well. You know, with me sort of just screaming something about spoilers, making weird noises.
We did do one.
Just get a Doctor Who sound clip.
Spoilers. Yeah.
What was the one we recorded?
Yeah, see, they don't know.
It was me going, "Oh, it's a spoiler," or something.
That's ready to be edited.
Oh, we got some emails.
Just something that makes your ears bleed.
Emails.
No, it's good. And then at the end of your episode as well, you finish with the 6 degrees.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about it about 20 minutes
ago.
Yeah. I think.
So we're carrying on that thought.
And because I was getting through the
for a point.
The way that your show runs. And at the end it's the 6 degrees of separation, which is your baby, isn't it?
Yeah, it's similar to Radcliffe and Macauly have got a show on Six Music, and they've got a feature called The Chain, where it's just an ongoing thing. Each song relates to the last. And I thought, because I know Scott's really quite knowledgeable about music, what I'd do is test him. And the first song will be related to one of the films. So, for instance, last time, or one of the times, we did Pappy on.
Yeah.
So the first song was The Butterfly Collector by The Jam.
Yeah.
And then
which I was surprised you didn't get, actually.
Yeah.
I was screaming out in the middle of...
What we do as well, we swap seats for the 6 degrees part as well. So the headphones were quite low, and I'm thinking, sounds like The Who. No, sounds like Paul Weller. I got a bit, but by then I'd just completely lost all track. But, very, very excellent 6 degrees coming up on our new episode.
Really? Yeah. I can't even remember it.
Charlie thinks, outside the box completely on these.
This is another thing you were saying as well, is that sometimes you can find a simpler connection. I
meant to look it up again, but there was one, and it was the one where you had a Biggie song.
Oh, Hypnotise.
But there was in one of those connections there was something, and I was like, oh, that's obviously this, and it wasn't. It was something completely different.
Charlie does it this way. Up a lot, don't they?
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's not that simple. It's not that complicated. It's like, just think what that word is. And it can be very, very... It could be literally the same word in the title.
Yeah.
And I overlook it. Yeah. Because I'm reading too deep into it.
Yeah, sometimes you think that maybe Charlie's gone a bit...
Yeah, and bearing in mind, we've been sitting in front of these mics for 6 hours.
Yeah, that's...
Drinking.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I never factor that in sometimes.
You must have some external storage on your laptop or something. These files are huge.
They are. There's unbroadcast material that is gold. Comedy gold, we're going to call it. But it may never see the light of day.
Mainly for libel reasons. That's why I usually pick on the dead.
Because they're not around to defend themselves.
Yeah, and you can't be sued.
No, fair play.
Yes, Galahad plays a...
Galahad.
It is the beer of podcasters.
They're on the second. I've got to drive, and we aren't the Drunk Geek blog, so I'm not going to go over.
Scott's on his third.
I'm not going to go over the limit.
No, let's be very sensible.
Yeah, we are sensible. Sensible enough that I'm actually going to go to the loo. As it's a long one, I'm just going to...
Do you want me to carry on?
Yeah, keep going.
Because this may well be a double episode, and we'll probably split it in a place. And then, if you guys want to have a fag as well.
And that seems like a good as place as any to split this episode. That was the first part of the team up with A Stinking Pause with Scott and Charlie. The second part will be out next Sunday, and I highly suggest you download that as well, because we just had a really great time and there were a lot of laughs to be had and more inappropriateness, and not just on Charlie's part. Thank you for listening. Like we said, go and follow Stinking Paws on Twitter and Facebook and visit their website. And definitely download their podcast because it is great fun. So that'll do us for this week, and thank you very much. See you later.